What is going on, friends? Welcome back to the Honeystead. I'm gonna let this cool down just a little bit, but we're in for another snow day, which is fine. Sometimes these days are exactly what I need. Although the snow started in a lot sooner than what I anticipated. I was actually going to take you guys up into the garden and kind of talk to you about what I figured out what we're going to do with this 2025 garden. Now, my last video, I took you guys up there and I was telling you all the things that I did wrong with my garden and how I was going to do it this year. After that video, I realized that I'm actually really glad that I shared some of my thoughts and some of my opinions, because I'm actually going to do a little bit of something different now, mainly because of your guys' feedback and everything that you shared. Hi.
It smells like feet in here.
Oh,
you're recording? I don't know.
You did.
Are you like live?
I'll be right back. I have a boy child. Anyways, he thinks that it smells like feet in here, but sometimes it's the herbal tea. Not that I just took off my shoes. No, this doesn't smell like feet. I don't know what I ended up brewing. I think it might have a little bit of valerian root in it. So it's possible that it does smell a little bit like feet. Sometimes when I brew up a tea, I just grab something. Yeah, having almost adult boys, it's great sometimes. Where was I? Okay, so my last video, I took you guys into the garden and I shared with you how I made some mistakes, specifically with placing my raised beds, how I didn't put down cardboard or actually didn't put down like any type of mesh or anything underneath of my raised beds, and then also some cardboard, and then I filled it with dirt that had 100-year seed bed or seed bank in it. So I really have been struggling with my raised beds. Now, I also shared a few different ideas on how I was going to kind of mitigate that situation and plan my raised beds, whether I'm keeping it grass, but maybe moving the raised beds far enough away so that when I run my lawnmower through there, it helps keep everything at bay. Or if I was gonna put like a pea gravel or some type of gravel. And you guys really helped me see things a little bit different. I don't think I'm gonna do the gravel. Some really awesome points that were made were mainly because of I'm barefoot a lot of the times in the garden. And that might not exactly be fun, like walking up in the garden. Another key point was any type of wagon or wheelbarrow would be hard to kind of push through the gravel. Totally makes sense. I do think I like the idea of doing mulch and heavy mulch and doing like cardboard mulch and then keeping that method at bay. I have a lot of boxes, and so being able to utilize a lot of the boxes specifically for the garden I think is going to be helpful. So that is where I'm now kind of leaning to actually doing the mulch system for the garden. And then I love the no-till method idea of like doing the mulch and then cardboard mulch and then doing your compost on top and then planting directly into that. So I'm thinking the most cost-effective way for me to do this is that. For the raised beds, I've been eyeing a few different companies, seeing what I could possibly get here, and then obviously pricing it out. This year, I know that I'm going to be investing a good bit of my financial aspects into the garden. So is it worth spending, you know, X amount of dollars for aluminum raised beds, or is it worth fixing the raised beds and just going through and using what I have, which I'm definitely more leaning towards using what I have. And so I sat down with my husband and I'm like, all right, this is what I have to do. Other expenses that I plan on doing for the garden is reinvesting into a larger high tunnel. I've got so many plans for medicinal seeds and investing in a space that I could actually start a lot more seed starts and actually selling medicinal seed kits here is kind of what I really would love to do. So I'm sitting down kind of jotting down, okay, pros and cons. And so this was really helpful for me to try to like sit down and figure out exactly what I want to do. And now I'm going to start drawing it out because I need to be starting seeds like very soon. In fact, I actually am working on getting everything together right now. I did get some seeds in, and I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about that because I know I get a lot of questions about medicinal seeds and where do I get them from. I honestly use multiple different seed companies because I really love supporting multiple different people. It's not that I'm like pulled here or there, but there are so many seed suppliers out there. So I like to give as much option, I believe, as possible. And I have one of the seed packets here that I think are really, really helpful. I did get, and I actually kind of helped work with this company as well as Haas Tools. I worked with Haas Tools on helping come up with a medicinal seed line. But I worked with Survival Seeds on what type of medicinal seeds would be good for a kit, and if they could just buy it as a little collection and, you know, have the whole thing. Because again, like the way I am when it comes to having and growing herbs, you never know who's going to possibly need it. So when I look at a collection of seeds, this is essentially, it is the home apothecary in a bag. But when I look at all the different variety of seeds, I might not want to grow all of them, but this is an opportunity to give to somebody else who might need it. So let's open this and take a look at what they are offering. They did have to modify this. They did have to modify this pack a little bit, just because I think certain seeds couldn't get sent to certain locations. And if you are interested in this packet from Survival Seeds, I do have a link on my website. So they wrapped them in little packets, which you guys are probably gonna be like, what? Why is cayenne pepper in the medicinal seed packet? Let me just tell you, cayenne pepper, and I might run through some of these, maybe not all of them, because literally there's 36. So I'll run through a good bit of the ones that I grow here on a normal basis so that you guys can kind of gauge like, oh, maybe I do need to grow this. Cayenne pepper is wonderful for your home apothecary. I definitely cook with cayenne pepper. It's wonderful if you are congested, you need to kind of drain everything, but I'm gonna give you a few different other things that I love to do with cayenne. And some of these are gonna hopefully be in the book, which I am going to tell you at the end of this video some big announcements. So let's go through these, but definitely stay for the end of the video because I have a lot of big announcements that I am excited to share with you guys. And I don't feel like I have enough time in the day to tell you all the things, so we're gonna say it here. But cayenne pepper, what I like to do is I chop up the peppers and I will mix it in with my raw honey. It's a hot honey. I actually use that to cook with. I use that just because it's absolutely delicious. Other ways that I use cayenne pepper is I will dry the pepper and I'll turn it into a powder, and then I will infuse it in an oil, and then I take that oil and make a salve with it. That is wonderful for pain, for aches and pain. The action that we're kind of going for when it comes to herbal medicine is rubefacient, which means that it essentially causes pain, but then that pain then distracts you from the actual pain that you're experiencing. So kind of like how icy hot works on your body. Icy hot causes pain and it takes, the pain away. So other than cooking and eating with, eating cayenne, I absolutely use it as a salve, mix it in my honey. It's delicious. Another one is chamomile. And there's German and Roman chamomile, but this one I believe they just have the German chamomile. Now there it goes. Now chamomile, a lot of people are very familiar with chamomile as a sedative, but it is lovely on your nervous system for just keeping yourself calm. I love chamomile in a lot of my nighttime teas. In fact, this tea that I'm drinking right now I'm almost positive it has valerian root because of the stinky feet comment that my wonderful son, but it has chamomile, it has peppermint. I also think that I added rooibos in it. So this is kind of herbal roulette tea. That's what we're gonna call it because I did not write it down, but this was just for me. So I'm good with it. Chamomile, other than a tea, another thing that I like to do with it is if you ever get like a sty in your eye, I will actually take the tea bag and I will brew a cup of tea, drink it, and then I'll take that tea bag and I'll put it on my eye to help with that, or any type of like, if I'm looking at my computer and my eye is straining and I'm just like, that fatigue. This is really lovely. I'll also mix it in my baths. I will, enjoy it. But this one it's beautiful. And I would say if you are planning to harvest a good bit of chamomile, grow a good bit. I mean, the flowers are so tiny, so you're gonna need a substantial amount to be able to do a nice large harvest. But yes, chamomile, it's a great one. Another one that, okay, let's see, this one is echinacea. I highly recommend everyone to grow echinacea, and I do believe that echinacea is probably one of the most common medicinal herbs to grow, mainly because it is a decorative flower that comes back, so it's also called coneflower, purple coneflower. I will actually take the whole flower, I will tincture it. I also use the root. I also dry it and put it into a tea. This is wonderful for an immune stimulant. So if I know I'm getting something and it's coming on, I will immediately go to echinacea, but I won't use this long term. I will only use this you know, for maybe 10 days, not even, or until my symptoms have subsided. But this is great for immune stimulant. It also does so much more. And it's beautiful in the garden, absolutely beautiful. And my honeybees love it, which, you know, I'm a huge fan of it. Let's see, holy basil. I do talk a good bit about holy basil. But holy basil is an adaptogen herb. It's going to help your body balance, calm down kind of situation. So it is kind of a relaxing herb. I do love to drink some holy basil straight from the garden. I will snip a couple of the stems and I'll fill my jar, and I'll let the sun do like a sun infusion. So delicious. But this one I do tend to drink when I'm working in the garden, and I also love the smell of it. Wonderful adaptogen, highly recommend it. Oh, let's see what else. Black cumin. I will tell you, and I have told you, there are some really amazing studies about black cumin, specifically as an anti-inflammatory, but I do want you to read, and I might attach the scientific study that's under this, if not, do your own research. But I love taking black cumin seed, and I learned this from a fellow herbalist many years ago who learned this from another herbalist who, whenever they were not feeling good, they would take just a spoonful of black cumin seeds, or a half a spoonful, and they would swallow it, and as soon as they would go to bed, they would wake up the next morning, whatever cold they might have been fighting was pretty much gone. So one of the studies that I was reading about black cumin was specifically for influenza and also COVID as well. Now, I don't like the taste of the seeds plain. I think they remind me of like pencil, like the pencil, like if you're chewing on a pencil, which don't recommend, but you know, when you're kids and you're whatever, I was not one of those, but it has that same kind of flavor. So what I actually do is I take black cumin seed and I mix it with honey. Now, there has been a little bit of a bug going around for the last, I feel like, month in our area. And a couple of weeks ago, I really wasn't feeling that great. So I took a spoonful, went throughout my day. My fever felt gone. Like I didn't feel like I had a fever anymore. Went to bed, woke up the next morning and was fine. So try it out. It's worth a shot, but I do love some black cumin. Oh, there's so many. I know I speak highly about calendula. Calendula is lovely as a tea. It's really good for your digestive system. It's a vulnerary herb, which means that it's going to help mend the tissue, whether that is externally or internally. So, love calendula in a tea. Do some reading about it. There's some pretty awesome stuff, especially for people who might have stomach ulcers, gastric ulcers, as well as IBS. But externally, it makes a beautiful salve, and it's really good for your skin. I love catnip, Nepeta cateria. I will say, catnip, there's so many common names. So again, when you're doing your research on medicinal herbs to grow, always look at the scientific name. Catnip is often referred to as catmint. It is also called catwort. There are so many common names, so I always say go to the scientific name, because that is going to help you find that medicinal plant, that medicinal herb, you know, to go to. So love catnip, great for sleep, and I have some pretty awesome stories that I have shared in past videos about how it's really good for a very upset stomach, and it has definitely saved me a good bit. Motherwort, I love motherwort. This one is wonderful for your cardiovascular system. also has some really amazing ability to kind of help keep you, help with stress. You know, motherwort is one that I love to grow. It's beautiful, spiky, ooh, very spiky. So wear gloves if you are harvesting the top. But it is a little bitter in a tea form, but I will drink it into a tea form. I do tincture motherwort. I've also infused motherwort and honey, but really just good for your heart, good for your cardiovascular system. I speak about oats quite often, Avena sativa. I love growing oats. I think everybody should grow oats. I harvest them when harvest the oat tops when they're premature, and take that and actually pulverize it with a blender and mix it with my my vodka to make a tincture, and that creates a milky stage. It's called milky stage oats. This one is a go-to. This one is it's a nervous system tonic. So it is just wonderful. Wonderful for the nervous system. I'm a huge fan of oregano, and I'm sure thyme is in here as well if I can find it. But oregano, sage, thyme, those medicinal herbs, I know a lot of people always refer to them as culinary, but I actually take a bundle of all of those herbs and I make a really wonderful syrup. But they are great for your immune system. And so if you don't plan on growing a medicinal garden, you know, these can be found in the grocery store, and you could buy bundles and you could make your own cough syrup with it. But yes, I use oregano, thyme, and sage. Sometimes throw in some rosemary specifically for your, as a cough syrup. Oh my gosh, there are so many. Let's see, the toothache plant. It is called the toothache plant because it is for your gums and your teeth. If you have a sore tooth, or if your mouth is hurting, this plant numbs you. And it really works, and a little bit goes a long way. So I do grow toothache plant. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Okay, all right, let's go. I talk a lot about yarrow. We will talk more about some yarrow. Peppermint, of course, do love peppermint. Red clover. So red clover is, you know, you see it growing in your fields. Red clover is really wonderful, specifically for women who may have gone through or maybe going through that wonderful change of season, and experiencing the hot flashes. So this is really great for calming down those hot flashes. I do want you to do your research though on all of these herbs, because not every single herb is right for every single individual. That means if you're on medication, if you're pregnant, or if you're trying to get pregnant, or if you have certain diagnosis, especially with thyroid conditions, or, you know, possible uterine or breast cancer. This one I don't think I would use at all, mainly because there is it has a phytoestrogen. So that's where I'm saying do your own research. But this is just a short look at all these seeds. Stinging nettle, it is really good, especially made into a pesto. It stinks, so be very careful when you're going to harvest this one. I would wear some gloves, and maybe plant this where you don't like to go. So if I have like the edge of a wood line, this is where I actually have my stinging nettle growing, because we're not really going over there. I have walked through an entire patch of stinging nettle barefoot. Ouch. And this one, I had to learn how to love it. But there are so many wonderful things with the aerial parts of this plant, mainly for like the nutritive aspect of it. But the seed and the root of stinging nettle also has some pretty awesome research with it, specifically with, you know, prostate cancer. So very interesting plant, I would say. And ooh, okay, feverfew. I know I talk about this one quite often, but you guys might be new. So if you are new to this channel, I will share this again. And if you guys have been along with me for a little while, like y'all probably know, I talk a good bit about feverfew. But feverfew is a vasodilator. So if you tend to experience the migraine, this one helps prevent migraines. Now for me, I've learned what triggers my migraines or triggers a headache. I've gotten a lot better because I have done many things to help support my gut health and everything. But when the weather changes, like yesterday, I noticed I was starting to get that little bit of a headache. Luckily, I didn't have to really do anything. I just drank a cup of tea and went to bed. But if the barometer drops, that's when I notice that I start to experience a little bit of a migraine. So I will take this as a preventative. If you have a migraine, it doesn't quite work as well, but for me, as a preventative, it is great. I would say also to learn what triggers your migraines, because this one might not be for you. Oh, there's Horehound, which makes a really good lozenger for candy. I make like a honey Horehound candy. There's Hyssop, which is lovely for the honeybees. Also, you can use it in a syrup. I've done a Hyssop syrup for respiratory. Lavender is a great one as well. A lot of people will use lavender for their nighttime. I'm not a huge fan of lavender in a tea form, but I do love lavender when I've dried all of the flowers, and I'll bundle them up and I'll put it in the little muslin bags, and they sit in my drawers. It keeps all of my clothes smelling really good. I am going to, my goal this year is to kind of start making my own essential oils. And this would be one essential oil that I probably would use quite a bit. Yeah, I would probably use lavender quite a bit if I have it, if I make my own essential oil. And that's coming. I've been eyeing this copper still, and I'm like, oh, do I want to do it? Like, yes, I really do. Okay, there are, look, these I did not even speak about, okay? They're all great, but I didn't even speak about all of these. The other one, Love Lemon Balm. This one makes me happy. Lifts your mood. Really good for lifting your mood. Also good for helping relax and sleep, and it smells beautiful. And again, my pollinators, all the pollinators love lemon balm. And then I do love marshmallow. Now, I think marshmallow was also in my tea, which is getting cold at this point. But it is really good. Marshmallow, the root itself, you can use after the plant's a couple of years old. You harvest the root, but it's in the hollyhock family, and the marshmallow root itself is packed full of mucilage. So when you go to brew it in a tea form, it gets really, really thick. A lot of people say don't necessarily use it in a tea form. I do, and I notice it, but if you really want that mucilage, your best bet would be to do a cold infusion. Now, I have so many videos of herbs and working in the apothecary, and you know, I try to share like as we go, but if you want to learn more, I do have that home apothecary course, and we actually decided, Jill and I decided to keep the enhanced edition available. So that is on my website, and we're keeping it there. Mainly the goal is to get people as much information as possible and do it in a way that's convenient to them. So that is all there. But I have a lot more announcements that I need to share with you guys. A lot more. Okay, I figured I would get off of the floor because I got some stuff to talk to you guys about. And y'all, I'm excited. This year is going to be completely, just completely. I don't even know. Like, I don't even have words for what I think this year is going to be. All I know is that I'm just along for the ride, and I am just going wherever I am being led. Where do I even start? Okay, I'll start with the mushroom blend. So we had a few hiccups on delivery. It's coming probably, as of now, it's going to be within about a week or two. So I don't think it's going to be this coming week. So possibly next week. We've had a few hiccups with the weather. This year we've actually had a lot more snow than normal. But I'm okay with it. You know, I'm not rushing this. Like, I am just, it's going to be okay. I shared my mushroom blend video back in October. I didn't quite know what to expect after offering my blend that I have been using for like the last 4 years. I've been blending myself. And I was able, because of you guys, honestly, I was able to take it and level up and work with an actual organic mushroom farm to grow the mushrooms, and worked with a manufacturer to blend it for me and package it in a way that allowed me to be able to ship all over the US. I'm not able to kind of ship outside of the US as of now, but I still am kind of looking into that. And that I can also sell in stores. So I will put that all down below, and I'll actually put that video down below, because mushrooms truly have been a game changer for my health. Mentally, I am able to tackle the tasks. I feel amazing. My immune system is just so much stronger. And even when, you know, the people all around me are getting sick, I might feel a little bit, but nowhere near what I was. So that is the big announcement with the mushroom blend. It should be here within the next 2 weeks. And when that is, I will share with you guys, because I know that many of you are waiting, and I really appreciate all of your patience with that. We were able to double our order, because again, like, when you're putting something out there, I didn't quite know, like, I was like, oh, maybe we can help, you know, a handful of people. I had no idea how many people it helped. And if you just read some of the reviews, you could see for yourself. And that just, again, like, literally has brought tears to my eyes, just knowing that that is helping people. So that has been something really, really big. This year, I have a lot of things kind of in the works. You all know that I'm writing a book. Well, I am actually editing it again. Like, it came back to me from the main editor, and there are a few things, like, we're putting it in format. I've never written a book, so I don't quite know what to expect. So I'm giving myself a few weeks to have that book completely edited, and then I turn it back in to the publisher, and then, you know, there's a process with it, but the book should be out in June. I don't know if that means that the book is going to be in print by June, or if the book is going to be pre-order by June. Regardless, like, I am busting my butt for that. So if you see that I'm kind of disappearing a little bit for the next couple of weeks, it's because of that. I am gonna at least try to have a video out every Sunday. And if I don't, I will announce it and I'll just say, hey, I got my horse blinders on and I'm focusing on the book. I'm just really excited to have that out for you guys. So, and having it in my hand now and like, you know, going through and reading it all over again, it just makes me even more excited. So that is coming. I also have one more huge announcement that I've been kind of keeping a secret, and I recently shared this week just a little bit, but I wanted to tell you a little more, and next time I go, I'm actually going to do a video so to share. But this last year I had a local wonderful woman who reached out to me. She has a vineyard here in our area and beautiful farm, and she reached out and she was like, you know, I really would love to see us doing something together. And there's been a lot of things kind of weighing on my heart. I've had in my heart for the last couple of years is, how can I do what I'm doing and help people? How can I help people? Like that's my goal. What does that look like? You know, can I help somebody learn how to help themselves? Or, you know, can I help somebody learn how to do hands-on workshops? You know, I do hands-on workshops here on my farm, and I keep them very small and intimate, and they're intense. But I knew that there were people, I knew that I could do more, which we do have a whole list of workshops that you could sign up for and come here and work in the garden and help me and learn how to make all this stuff and get into the bees. It's a blast. You know, so here I'm, you know, talking with this wonderful lady, and we're talking about this, and then the next thing I know, it's just rolling. And she's like, well, let's do this, you know, what do you need? Like, let's go. So in short, we launched a business where we are going to build a community. We're going to, we have workshops available. Our open house is February 21st. That, you know, we're inviting everybody to come out and see like what we're planning on doing. And also I was able to bring my best friend in on this, who is wonderful and so knowledgeable with nutrition. And so after kind of sitting down, and it's like, what do we want? You know, and the thing is we all want community. We all want to give people the tools for them to learn how to help themselves. And we want to be able to do it at a much larger scale. So this is what we're doing. It's called Hands of the Earth. And not only are we going to be hosting workshops on a regular basis, sometimes during the week, sometimes during the weekend, but we're also creating a space to bring other people in so they can have a platform. They can come in and teach what they have learned and teach what they do and what they're passionate about. You know, when I had this vision, I did not think that it was ever going to happen. And I should not be surprised, because I truly believe that God knows the deepest, darkest desires of your heart. And I am a firm believer that if you are in any type of business, you can't be in business for yourself. You have to be in business for others. So if you are in this area, I invite you to come out. I invite you to be a part of this. I will put the link. I'm actually going to pin this one in the description. I will bring the camera with me and I will show you when we go there. But we have got so many plans. I'm gonna help design and grow the medicinal garden that people are gonna walk through. People are gonna be able to harvest. We're gonna do flowers. We have got a vision of this greenhouse that is going to be, I mean, it's gonna be phenomenal. So yeah, you know, I'm going wherever I feel like I'm being led. And this is an opportunity that it doesn't make sense to me that it's happening. I'm just really thankful that I'm able to take what I have learned and try to help others, whatever that might be. Whether that is encouraging somebody to take what they know and go in front of people and share it, or, you know, just, you know, not be afraid. And so as I was picking up my teacup for my daily tea, I picked up my new cup that was just given to me from 4 Jars. They sent me over 2 of them, and I think that they're super cute. I got a black and a white one. But I was looking at the be bold, be kind, be you, and I'm like, okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna be bold, I'm gonna be kind, and I'm gonna be me. So this year is gonna be a big year. It's gonna be wonderful, and I'm just along for it. But I hope that if you guys are in the area for the open house, that you come out and see. We have got a lot of things in store, and there's some more big announcements as we go through with this. But yeah, I'm just along for the ride. Thank you guys for talking about my garden. I've got to sit down and I'm gonna start drawing out a few ideas to share with my husband. I wanted to talk to you about these seeds because I think they're important, especially for you guys when you're looking at growing your medicinal seeds. But more so, I'm excited to be able to share what's in store this year, and it's gonna be big. So as always, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty and learn something old. Bye guys.